Understanding the Mind's Precious Vessel. You're welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating text titled The Rootless Treasure Vessel of Bodhicitta Gives Rise to All Dharmas. You might have heard of bodhicitta, the awakened mind. But this document uses some unique metaphors like a diamond mine, a rootless tree, and a precious treasure vessel to explain what bodhicitta is, where it comes from, and why understanding our own true nature is so important. Let's try to summarize the key points for you. The text starts by comparing bodhicitta to a diamond or gold, suggesting it can only be found in a specific type of mine. This raises an interesting question. Where do you dig? It sounds like bodhicitta isn't created from nothing. It's always been there, waiting to be discovered. This mine is said to have two main elements: great compassion to rescue all sentient beings. The profound state of omniscience, all-knowing wisdom, needed to realize that compassion. So ordinary good intentions, like seeking only personal liberation, as in Hinayana Buddhism, are good, but the text says they're like regular stones. They lack these two core elements and therefore can't give rise to the diamonds of bodhicitta, because the focus is on the individual rather than all beings. The text even includes a poignant comparison. Hinayana practitioners might find the suffering of beings too real and dirty, and they might be reluctant to jump into a cesspool to save people. But Mahayana bodhisattvas, the text says, are different. They understand that suffering is like an illusion, an illusory stink. This sounds incredibly difficult. Even if you intellectually know suffering is an illusion, how do you keep your emotions from getting trapped by the stink? The key is wisdom. Knowing something is like an illusion doesn't mean the suffering doesn't exist. It means you aren't bound by its superficial appearance. You can see through its true nature. This allows you to act calmly in difficult situations, focusing on the potential and good qualities of beings rather than their faults. This really requires deep wisdom and compassion. Next, the text uses the metaphor of a rootless tree. This is even more profound. The rootless quality actually refers to our self-nature, our inherent, pure mind that is not subject to birth or death, the fundamental capacity to know and be aware. Our self-nature has no form or image, which is why it's called rootless. But it is the very foundation from which all virtues, like wisdom, supernatural powers, and great vows grow. The idea of something rootless but able to grow suggests its foundation isn't in external conditions, but in something inherently within us. That's right, you've grasped the main point. All our wisdom and precepts grow from this rootless tree, which is actually rooted in our self-nature. The text then shifts to the idea of a vessel for bodhicitta. Just as you wouldn't put a valuable diamond in a broken box, you need the finest vessel to hold bodhicitta. If our minds are full of greed, jealousy, broken vows, laziness, delusion, and ignorance, the text says we become a poor or broken vessel and bodhicitta can't enter. The true treasure vessel of our body and mind is our inherent self-nature, the very awareness that can hear and see. This vessel isn't something we need to find outside. It's already there, and we just need to acknowledge it. This acknowledgement sounds simple, but it seems incredibly difficult in practice. Don't we often feel like we are that broken vessel, which is why we can't see or believe we have a treasure vessel inside? The text then uses a powerful metaphor to drive the point home. It says we often fail to recognize the priceless treasure vessel within us. Instead, we mistake our vexations and delusions, like greed, anger, and jealousy, for our true selves. Then we spend our days picking up manure from others or collecting other people's faults, worldly troubles, and negative emotions, and we fill our minds with them. The picking up manure analogy is a real wake-up call, reminding us not to mistake negative things for who we are. The suffering caused by these vexations and delusions can sometimes be worse than actual filth. So, if we shouldn't be picking up manure, what is the true function of this precious treasure vessel? Our self-nature. It can't just be an empty container, can it? It's definitely not a passive container. The text emphasizes that our self-nature can give rise to all things dharmas. This inherently pure self-nature has infinite creative potential. The text argues that all creative inventions in the world, whether art or technology like computers and cars, are just different levels of our self-nature's potential being expressed. This is a fascinating perspective, so that creativity comes from our self-nature. You could say that. The text even makes a strong comparison, saying the ability to create is the fundamental difference between humans and animals. If a person only consumes, can't create anything of value, and constantly produces waste like vexations and negative emotions, then they are essentially no different from an animal that only eats, drinks, and excretes. This is a heavy statement, but it makes you reflect. Are we truly using our creative potential as humans? Or are we unknowingly spending our energy picking up manure and getting stuck at that animalistic level? Even when things feel difficult and we face obstacles, the three obstacles of vexations, karma, and retribution. The text reminds us that these obstacles are more like projections. Their nature is illusory, not truly unbreakable. So, as we've discussed, from the source of bodhicitta, the mind of great compassion and wisdom, to how it grows like a rootless tree dependent on our self-nature, and how it is held in our pure self-nature treasure vessel, everything seems to point to the same conclusion, recognizing and trusting our inherent, pure self-nature that can give rise to all things. This isn't just the foundation for giving rise to bodhicitta. It's also the key to unlocking our human potential and moving beyond a basic, animalistic state to a truly human, creative one. So, to leave you with a question to ponder, the text's metaphor of picking up manure is vivid and dear, apt in describing how we cling to vexations. Can you think of any habitual thoughts, emotional responses, or behaviors in your daily life that, in retrospect, are like filling your precious mental vessels with unnecessary junk, or even, as the text says, with manure? This is certainly something worth reflecting on. And if you started to practice recognizing and trusting the treasure vessel, your inherently pure self-nature that can give rise to all things, how might your life manifest differently? This question is one to really think about.